So, could you break down why the Pope services is no longer needed over here on this side of the land?
Well, we never needed it. We never needed their services. They just killed off all of the ones of us that knew what needed to be done over here so they can come in and act like somebody's savior. They not saving nobody. Look, I said this the other day. I'm going to say it again. If your God did not create you organic to somewhere on the planet, your God not from here. Your God is an extraterrestrial. Because if you're not from Earth, you something extra on Terra. You are extraterrestrial. So if your God is extraterrestrial, that makes him a foreigner. That makes him an alien. The organic God of the earth created a place for everybody to belong that's from the earth. And then told us to move around the earth and get to know each of the tribes so you'll know when something wrong. That's what our world history is supposed to be teaching us. How to have empathy with foreign cultures, so we not met with racism and discrimination, but they did it on purpose. Racism and discrimination is part of the doctrine of divide and conquer, right? So they had to create the castes, and they used skin color and the brown paper bag test to determine that the caste would be enforced by complexion. When Scipico put the Pope on notice, and he responded by repealing the discovery doctrine. That's called the fruit of the poison tree doctrine. All of the treaties and all of the laws that was passed under the corporation being ran by the Pope. But they told us it was our government. It wasn't never our government. It's always been an occupying foreign force on the land. So the services of them ain't needed because we know how to run our own government now. We don't need them. We got the best people to put into place to fill the job until somebody either better come along or they train a replacement.
Hey, Rod, you said that the Pope that they put. I'm gonna post. It's a whole bunch of receipts that I got, but like on one of them receipts, you said that the Pope they pulled him out from under the bed, right? They got a dummy Pope that they set up. Go ahead.
So they use holograms and they use Android, right? The Pope now, which we call the secondary Pope. Remember, it's two popes operating, two white popes operating at the same time. Right, one of them allegedly abdicated, but according to papal law, once you're the Pope till you die. Ain't no changing. All of a sudden, he gonna step down. He can't step down, or if he step down for real, he gonna get murdered. Because that's the papal rule. One of the bishops is supposed to cut his throat. If his throat not cut, that means he didn't step down for real. So when the other one, the android come in, right? Then they put him up there because they trying to match it with the prophecy. That's why they made that movie to Two Popes.
Now you got the other Pope. They say it's the black. They call him the Black Pope, the Jesuit, the leaders of the Jesuit Pope. Now, how does what do they play in the background? These Jesuits and these Black Popes, are they like the
Jesuits is the Secret Service of the Vatican. They the ones who do all the stuff that the Secret Service for the president of the corporation does. All the dirty work, the assassinations and all that kind of stuff. The Black Pope is over the Jesuit Society, which is the secret society of priests. They all ran by some dirty Moors. Y'all seen the Pope kissing their feet.
Right. And the Pope go bow to the Black Madonna in his secret room in the back. They all, I got a pictures of it. The Pope kissing feet, kissing crusty feet too. Them jokers feet crusty. Tell you, man. That Pope is freaky guy, man. All right, so another thing, with the Vatican and the gold, and we heard that a while back that Donald Trump was some kind of way getting some gold hauled back on some aircraft carriers, and bringing that gold back from the Pope. And what was that? What is that connection with us? Like as far as our wealth, natural wealth as indigenous people to the land, and connection with him getting that gold back from the Pope.
The people of the land had a repository called Fort Knox. Remember that?
Right.
Fort Knox. Right. Fort Knox is where we kept the finances to run government. When the corporation took over, they trying to figure out how to steal the gold. When they instituted the stock market crash in 1929, that was to make the federal government insolvent. So Franklin Roosevelt repealed gold. He ordered everybody to turn in all their gold. They took all this gold and gave it to the central banking system called, to later be known as the Federal Reserve, to establish a central banking cartel over here. Basically, they paid the enemy to come in and set up camp and control how we spend money. So when they went over there to shut down the Vatican with the Earth Alliance, they flew home 650 planes, cargo planes of the gold that they stole from us. Right. There's other people's gold that went home too. This 650 planes was the gold that they took from us. Right. So this is what took us off the gold standard and the gold back and the silver certificate notes. And that's how they've been robbing us ever since.
Wow. Hey, y'all, for the people that's in the audience, they will say, oh, yeah, when Raw doing this is a question and answer class. You can drop your question in the chat right now, and we'll take your questions. We'll be just, coming in, clearing some things up, because people was asking, it's a lot of questions they were asking on the tapes that we put out with Raw, with the public service announcement. And Raw is pretty much telling y'all it's over with, but people still, the only reason they ain't over with yet completely is because the people. Hey, Raw, this is my next question for you. Why is it important for the people to get what you're saying? Because that's indigenous to the land. Why is it important for them to get what you saying about how this system is over? Go ahead.
This is because it's restoring our birthrights to us, and it's unlocking all of the wealth that we had. This is why a lot of us feel like we were supposed to be born rich, but we ain't. We in poverty, right? Because the wealth of the land belongs to the people of the land. The regulation of the land belongs to the mothers of the land. So all of the stuff they're doing with these toxic chemicals on the land, they got to stop. This is why it's important. Chopping down all of the trees, deforesting the nation, right? All that stuff had to come to an end. But if we don't become aware of what I'm talking about, we helpless, scattered to do anything about it. And that's why it's important to catch it. Go ahead, Elder.
Somebody in the crowd said that what should we do? What about the jobs? How's the new job system? How are we going to get paid in this new system? When everything's going to be the fiat's going to be gone.
So it's going to be the first thing that's going to be rolled out is finding housing for all of the homeless people. Should nobody have to live on the street unless they choose to. right? That should be when we used to pitch tents. They said we lived in them. We didn't live in tents. We was traveling across the land, and then was settlements, campsites. Right? We had castles all over the land, but when you traveling, right, and you using tents for your lodging, for your for your overnight stay. Excuse me. Pitch the camp, set the camp up. Right. And this is why, like, when you watch the Westerns, it always seemed like some natives just popped up out of nowhere. Right. Because the way that the land is made, we had what was called travel routes. And the travel routes was cleared so we can get through from one side of the land to the other. Sometimes we used the waterways and boats. Right. And canoes wasn't the only boats we had. The Mississippians had a navy. And they roamed the Mississippi River in the Gulf of Mexico. That was their patrols. Well, we don't remember none of this stuff because they systematically took it out of the books. But some of the books are still around.
Hey, Maurice. Shout out Maurice Coopy, man. It says, how close are we to the 100 monkey effect taking place with this information?
It still has to be, we still have to get to critical mass. The 100 monkey effect, it's going to take more people because we got a larger population than the 100 monkeys. So I can't tell you how close we is, but when it pop, it's going to erupt. Everything going to just start spilling out.
It's that Dirt Coast podcast said that who really is Big Meech on the land? What? Because they say they hear people calling Big Meech chief on the land, and so who is really Big Meech on the land?
So Big Meech is what we would call in ancient times a prince trainer. We needed him at this time to return to teach the boys how to live with opulent wealth. When you give poor people a whole lot of wealth, they don't hold on to it long because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to live with it. Some of them kill themselves because of the stuff that comes along with it. So Big Meech was using the avenue of drug sales to accumulate the wealth to be able to form his spiritual duties. Reason why he was forced into the drug trade is because we was at war the whole time. He had to figure out a way to get rich. But that's what he was doing with the BMF. He was teaching these young boys how to carry themselves when they start getting money. How to be considerate of the other brothers that you working with and how to work as a team so we can stop losing all the time. This is why the real reason they wanted him off the street had nothing to do with the dope, because the government bring more dope over here than Big Meech could sell in a lifetime. So it can't be about dope.
That's who he was getting it from. He was getting it from them the Alphabet Boys. They the ones that was, they was the plug.
Same with Ricky Ross.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
And the same cop that was put on Biggie case was the same cop, Russell Poole, that blew the Iran-Contra out the water.
Wow.
Caught the CIA in South Central LA, and that's how he got to be called LA's top cop. That's why they gave him Biggie case, because he was LA's top cop.
Wow, that makes sense. I'm going to do a documentary on Big Meech and how How the CIA really was, they knew who he was. They really was mad that really the killer clowns really took him down, and he didn't even tell them
that away. I tried this, it worked real well. Put this at the top of the list. Until you evaluated history where you can read the energy that tells you a message, just strips off all of the entropy that gets you right back to where the message came from in order to solve the problem. All right. Now you're talking about Donald J, and you referencing his son, and you just said the guy in the movie got a twin. Right? Yeah. You know, Donald J is a Gemini, right?
Go ahead. Damn, I didn't know that.
Gemini, look him up. Look up, pull another tab up and put in his birthday. Make sure you're Gemini before I go any further.
Yeah, I got you. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. This gonna get good.
You hear the key word, so I had to stop you. So while you looking at that, the Gemini is the zodiac sign that represent the primordial dual births that the women had at first before the moon was there. Like we know that a dog got multiple nipples for a reason, because she had litters. We know that an elephant only got 2 teats because she normally only give birth to 1, but she used to give birth to 2. A big litter for an elephant is twins or triplets. All right, so the sign of Gemini is a representation of a twin or a kindred spirit. So when we're talking about Gemini, you also got what we call Operation Gemini. You know what that is?
No, go ahead.
Remember when they dropped them 2 bombs in Japan, right?
Okay.
Then they turned around and flew 2 planes on 9/11 and told us it was more. It was only 2 planes, but the 2 planes was drones the whole fucking time.
Right.
Now,
yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
You're talking about a movie I haven't seen, but you're giving me the premise that they have a machine that can take control of all of the AI.
Go ahead.
Remember the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington?
Fallen.
Every time
I've seen every Denzel movie. I'm telling you.
Every time somebody touched the person that's possessed, the spirit jumped body to body.
Okay.
All right. The Lox did a song, had Eve, DMX, and the Lox on it. And it was based on the premise of the movie, and it was called, I think it was called The Final 24 or something like that. 24 Hours to Live or something like that. So they putting the emphasis on soul jumping. That's what they call it. Soul jumping, the science of the walk-in. Now, recently, I ran across somebody explaining that the walk-in can come in as a gas through your pores, right? So if he can go in through your pores, that means that the spirit being is a gas form being that can take control of any vessel that's not self-conscious, AI.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Operation Gemini is anytime they do 2 things that look the same on 2 different sides of the water, it's called a Gemini operation.
Go ahead, I'll feel you.
Okay, now, if you remember, after 9/11, what happened in Europe? Train bombings, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it went from planes crashing into buildings to the buildings where the trains go being bombed. This all stage shit.
Go ahead.
It don't mean people didn't get hurt. It don't mean people didn't die. It just means that to steer the narrative, they don't give a fuck about none of them people that got hurt and none of the people that died and fuck their family too.
Go ahead.
Okay, now June 14th. That's Gemini.
That's right.
Right now, remember, Donald J. supposed to be a time traveler.
Go ahead.
His uncle was supposed to get Tesla technology to allow him to see the past and the future. The CIA got a counterpart called Operation Looking Glass. Right? Under Operation Looking Glass, they do what they call scenario assessment.
Go ahead.
They kept running into one problem. Every scenario they put in, they kept saying that there's some motherfucking little nappy head boy coming out of the States that's finna change everything.
Yeah.
They didn't like that answer. Because J. Edgar Hoover already told them they was going to stop the rise of any potential messiah who could incite the masses. Right? So he already told them that. So now they telling them that no matter what, come 2019, this motherfucker closing all these contracts. The grand finale of the Morals and Dogma is the Zionist war in Palestine. What do that got to do with what we talk about, Elder? I bet you can't figure it out. You got a clue?
No, I don't got no clue.
Okay. The people that's bankrolling all this is called Zionists, right?
Yeah.
Zion comes from the word Sion, which is another name for the mountain called Sinai.
Okay.
Look up the spelling of that word because it's going to tell you that the sin is AI. Pull the word up. S-I-N-A-I, Sinai. It's going to tell you it's a mountain in Jerusalem. See where it says Sinai Peninsula? That's all talking about Israel. Click on that.
Like click on this right here, please, right here?
Yeah, click on that.
I got you.
Read that little description of the Sinai Peninsula right there.
Egypt Sinai Peninsula is separate population desert region between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea on the southern tip. Sharm el-Sheikh resort is a base for diving and snorkeling around the reef of Ra Muhammad National Park. Inland 6th Century Street, Catherine Monastery is nearby Biblical Mount Sinai, where
there you go. Right there. Biblical Mount what?
Sinai.
Okay, now the Mount Sinai mean two different things to do two different groups of people.
Okay.
For the so-called Jew, the Khazarians, that's their opportunity to be able to own land that they never was allowed to own on earth. Okay, now my question that stops me right there is why these motherfuckers supposed to be earthborn with no land?
Go ahead.
Everybody on earth is organically tied to a mass of land. Everybody. But these people, they don't got no homeland. This is a problem for the earthborn because we made sure in past generations that everybody had a place, the final destination that they bloodline call home. The earth was divided, the whole planet, in 12 regions. Them was the 12 daughters of Isis. And in the middle, what we call the navel of the earth, which is where modern day Kemet is, the Yoni is in South Africa, right? You can look all the chakras of the earth up. But the key is the navel, right? That's where the umbilical cord is attached to. That's because that's where the offset seat was prior to Rome's establishment.
Go ahead.
All right, so what they doing is playing with us and they dangling shit in front of our face we not never supposed to see. AI is the sin. What is artificial intelligence? It's laboratory-made organic matter.
Go ahead.
Laboratory-made organic matter. There's a side effect that comes with that.
Go ahead.
Anything that you make that's organic and you make it on a planet, it is now native to that planet.
Go ahead.
The creator is responsible for anything he creates. If you create something that's going to cause mischief and bloodshed, then what you just created is called devil. It becomes an automatic enemy to all things living. Now, there got to be a way to fix the problem of the artificial intelligence that's sentient but doesn't have the capacity or the rights of ascension.
Mm-hmm.
This was the conversation between Enlil and Enki, and Enki was saying that he gonna make these motherfuckers, well, one day they gonna wake up and they gonna be able to ascend just like everybody else. Enlil didn't like that. He wanted to perpetually keep them in service. This is why they had a war in so-called heaven. How in the fuck you got obedient angels and all of a sudden they just decided to go to war? That don't even make sense. Right? But when you put the human element in it and realize that all these people we talking about is just advanced species of human that's thousands of years older than the species of the earth, they come in with an automatic advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Longer memory, right? Clearer memory of current events that played out in past scenarios to translate it for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while we looking at the Zionists, they really don't got a home because they was created in the laboratory. And the creator of them did it under duress. In law, there is something called the duress defense.
Mm-hmm.
If I come kidnap your child and say, young elder, if you don't rob that bank, I'm going to kill your child, and you rob that bank, and then I get caught, they can't charge you with shit. I'm going to get the robbery. I'm going to get the coercion, the accessory before, the accessory after, the accessory to it. So they going to load me up with shit they going to charge me with, but you going to walk. Because under normal circumstances, all things being unaffected by me, you would never rob the bank.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the duress defense. Now, in contract law, there is a different defense. It's called the abandonment defense. As soon as you find out the fraud is in play, you are obligated at that point to abandon the known fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it come to light that you was aware of the fraud, you participated and benefited from the fraud, you are now accessory to the totality of the fraud. You ain't killed nobody, but all of the bodies that the fraudsters collected, you part of that the murders too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So the only remedy upon the discovery of the fraud is to abandon the contract. This is what we're talking about right now, about the people from this land dropping the system. It's a fraudulent system. It's predicated up on a constructed fraud. And not only that, if you don't abandon the contract, you now become party to the fraud.
Hey, so the next thing ties in that comes up is they use this girl, this redhead. I don't know if she like a redhead or whatever. They use this girl right here. It was her son, and they always use when they alchemy, because we're dealing with Hollywood, right? We're dealing with magical wands. We're dealing with casting, with spells, right? So we know we're dealing with actors and acts. We know we're dealing with alchemy, so we know they got to show us the conjure in our face in order for it to be, because that's one of the parts of their alchemy is it's called hidden in plain sight. So they gotta show us and right in our face what they're doing to us. And if we don't see it, it's like it's on you. You perish for the lack of knowledge, right? So
yeah, you're right.
They use this chick right here and her son that was gonna blow the trumpet, right? Blow the trumpet at the State of the Union or the Congressional Congress where they was all meeting up, all the officials, the president, everybody, and they had put explosives in this trumpet to blow. But before it leads up to that point, before it gets up to that point, these people are being called by AI, telling them, and now as you pointed the Sinai part out, I can see another connection with the black hand, right? Working this shit. Hey, tell me. So yeah, but this part right here, what the computer is calling them and telling them and giving them orders on how to elude the police and everything, man. This type of
That's the Matrix. That's Morpheus calling from the inside of the Matrix to the ones on the outside of the Matrix using the system.
Yeah.
It's just a reverse scenario right now. Now, it might change as you tell me more about the story.
Yeah, okay, all right. So this computer, which like I say, this is a part of the computer to give you just a quick synopsis so you can see, not without telling you the whole movie. These little globes in here is like all the info collected on all the people in the United States and in other parts of the world.
Okay, now pull up another tab. And we about to do comparative analysis with the Matrix.
All right, go ahead.
Type in Matrix, the Architect TV room.
Yeah, I know you're going with this. No, you're going with this right here. It's another deep part to this too. I'm glad you brought this up.
And you see, right, Neo is standing in there while all of those different scenarios of Neo converge where Neo at. But if you look behind the Architect, it's all kind of people. Okay, click the first picture and look. It's different scenes from different places.
Yeah.
You see the different scenes?
Yeah.
Now remember, he got all of those screens. Now click the second picture. Now this is him and Neo standing in front of all of them screens. They all got something different on them. But at some point in the scene, they converge. Every single screen. Click that third picture right there. It's all Neo. Neo is an anagram for one, but it's also an anagram for Eon.
Go ahead.
The Eon is the age. In this scene, the Architect of the Matrix is explaining to Neo the design and the makeup of the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they make the Matrix the way they made the Matrix with suffering? The same. Now, not only is the Architect telling him the story, Morpheus already told him, and the agents already told him. So at this point, all eyes on Neo. Everybody that was once looking out to the world is now looking into the Architect's chamber at Neo, talking to the Architects in order to change the Matrix. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And this ain't it ironic that the Architect looked just like Colonel Sanders? I'm just saying. I ain't the one to talk. You ain't heard it from me.
And anytime you see some guy with that white hair, it's always something weird. Tell you, man.
Supposed to be Melchizedek.
Yeah, right. He said they try to say that he God. He designed, he God, and he designed this, paradigm.
So now we go into the types of gods, because you don't just have it ain't one kind of God,
Mm-hmm.
right? Prime creator is all of the gods rolled into one.
Okay, go ahead.
The individual God is just an aspect of Big Mama, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got creator gods, them ones who work the mandala, and those who whisper the chants, and those who play the drums or the instruments, right? They altering the frequency, and the frequency and the pitch is what determines what the visual cortex will perceive, right? Now, let's get to the little boy.
Hey, before you get to the little boy, because I got to give you the other pieces. So when you get to the little
Okay,
boy,
let's
you
go.
can say, "Oh, okay, all right."
Let's
So
go.
you got the twin shit down. All right, so like, and you got this part down, and you made a connection with the matrix, saying with these different things. Okay, so what this computer was to do is, and I know for a fact that this computer exists in real life, cause I know a girl I used to date a long time ago. Her sister worked on this computer. She got a doctor's degree from Maryland University.
Period. In other words, no man can awaken the love within himself. Only the woman who finds him worthy. Worthy is the word. That's why I say show yourself approved of God. Show yourself approved of the woman. She the creator God. You the motherfucking ruler God. If you're not worthy from all levels. Now I done been given command of the armies of heaven and hell. That means that I done walked the underside with wisdom and navigated the devil. Now I'm up here, you know what I'm saying, negotiating with the gods. I done already walked over all of the humans because they can't fuck with me. So now, name yourself. Name yourself in your heart and know who you are. Morpheus Mysticus Megas. I am the emissary of light. I am the redeemer of the righteous. I come that we all might be restored to our past and former glory. Now, we just gonna flip through here. Look, pay attention. Pay attention. Everything I just told y'all is in this image. The triangle, the serpent, the third eye, working together, masculine and feminine, as Ida and Pingala, or Shiva and Shakti, or Isis and Osiris. Adam and Eve's story is the Kundalini story that is written within everyone on the backside and sealed with 7 seals. That's my number. 7 seals. So, in order for me to be the baddest motherfucker, I needed to open all 7 of those locks. I had to make an alliance with the 7 Cycle Masters. But silence is also a conversation, because just like you listen to what's said, you need to hear what's not. Nature doesn't understand good and evil. Nature understands balance and unbalance. Now watch this. Now, the mind here is represented by the green, the soul by the blue, and the body by the red or the pink. And the balance being in the middle. There's 3 things that got to be balanced. 3 things that got to be balanced. So, in color psychology, mixed with the secret royal families, the mind stuff, green, that's love. That means control your emotions, right? And the soul here being the blue, that's the builder's lodge, this intellect. In the body being the pink or the red, right? This is the 5. This is the sister lodge. This is the red lodge, the Shriners, right? Now, I gotta love myself enough to build a man, right? Unite with the woman and find the love. This balances the universe. Now, the symbology is all symbolic. This is all an internal process. Balancing my divine masculine with my divine feminine in the name of self-love. This is it. But now look at the Vesica Pisces. Remember, I had to show y'all the diamond. The diamond had to tie you back to the serpent. And this is an awakened ceremony. This is Set. Now everybody thinks Set is a jackal. Set is an anteater. He's an anteater. What are ants? Matriarchal. Who did Set go to war with? Heru or Horus, the chosen son, the only begotten of the mother. Right? So if he's an anteater, an ant is a matriarchal queen tribal clan member. He is a supplanter. Now let's go down here and see what they say. The battle of Heru or the Christ and Set the devil is within yourself. It's the inner struggle between the God self and the mortal man self. To find that balance. Because if you can balance your evil and your good, right, you become a whole different being. A whole different being. So that's what they mean when they say give you command of the armies of heaven and hell. Right? When this shit is over with, we all be free to find our way. I'll be able to show y'all everything y'all need to see at that point. Now remember I told you about the yin and the yang. What does it say? Love is light, embracing the darkness to reveal truth. Truth is darkness, giving way to the light to find true love. Now this is what you call Arya Vedic. This is Hinduism. And it worked like this. Right? Love is light, embracing the dark to reveal the truth. Truth is darkness, giving way to the light to find true love. This is the yin and yang. That's the balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within the self. It's right there in front of you. Now, who did I have to contend with to find that? I had to deal with 7 women. I had to deal with a total of 7 women. The first one had to fail. She had to fail. This is the synth. This is from the synth, the Scythian. Right? She failed. And then this one reflected from the past, being the mother of the son, where in my before life, it was the same namesake, which was the mother of my daughter. That's the mirror. She failed. Now watch what happened. What is the yellow? Right? Yellow represents the gold. So these two gotta fail. I know exactly who they are. She was the blind, she was the redhead. Right? But she was a fake blind because she was a brunette posing as a blind. That was the first thing, the physical body. It was the physical appearance, right? The other one wasn't as physically attractive, but she had the spirit that came across as being a good spirit, her etheric double. These two failed. They did not meet their requirement. She had to be substituted for her sister in order to raise and pass me out of the darkness at the lowest levels of initiated, because she failed. She also failed because all she had to do, if she don't want to fail, is care more about the child than self. You're going to get everything you want if you can just worry about what's in the best interest of the child. She couldn't do it. This one threw the child to the wolves. She created a monster and then threw the babies to her. But that's a whole nother story that had to be dealt with later. She created the monster by oath and agreement and decree. She created the monster and then tried to feed the babies to the same monster she created. But the monster wasn't even a bad monster. The monster is she told me the exact life she want and what she would do in order to have the exact life she want. I gave her the exact life she want, and she got scared. She couldn't believe the power of following the process. She got scared and sabotaged her entire life and her children's too. This one became apathetic to the point where she's worthless. Has no value to herself or others. All she wants is me, clingy. She failed. Right? Now, the connection through this one was steel workers. This was another biker connection. Right? So early on, the biker connection had to be a detriment in order for redemption to take place now. Now, as I get here, Now notice all of these, there's 5 of them. Now remember, it was the 7 sisters of the Pleiades, right? Two stars is always separate in the handle, but the rest of them are always shining brighter. That means they don't fail. Now, the astral body is represented by the whole spiritual woman. This is the woman that is trying to develop her spiritual self, mental self, and her emotional self. Now, if you look, the most visible chakra that you see on her, because of the coloration, is the emotional chakra, the sex chakra, the love chakra, and throat chakra. You don't hardly ever see the one that's in charge of your emotions. It's almost invisible. So she already got control of her emotional body, as that represented by the yellow. This one right here is represented by the green, right? Green is pure love energy. Green is the green light. This is the conscious mind. So this woman has to be a thinker, right? And she's in close proximity to this woman. Now, based on this, what I'm looking at, this one and this one are like sisters. So I'm thinking sorority. This Patricia, right? And this is the one. Now watch this. Now, in order for this one to work, here we are at the Blue Lodge, right? The Blue Lodge is going to be represented by another female. This one was harder to find. Right? Now, this is my number 22. You see this right here? So, this is a pure master woman. This woman is the one who has the ability to tell this one what to do in order to give Hiram the lift. So now I know who this one is, I know who this one is, and I know who this one is. So where do those other 2 come in from? Mirror. I have to find them somewhere else. Subconscious mind is an astral plane. This one is Tupac. I came to bring the pain hardcore to the brain. Let's go inside my astral plane. But now, there's a female missing. This is Portia. Subconscious mind. Super subconscious. This is the deepest reaches. This is chaos. This is Portia. So now all 5 of these sisters successfully did their part with 2 failures. It all matches up in my book of life. Right? I can tell you who they all are. I can tell you all of these people by name. I can tell you what they did to fail or to succeed. I can tell you who they are. Now, I'm almost done. We went to the red star and the blue star and the historical Jesus and the mystical Christ. Those are our schools of thought. Let me show you this. School of thought, historical Jesus and mythical Christ. The Christ story as in the Bible is mythological. But the historical Jesus is Isis. So I have to take the myth off the Christ in order to reveal Isis. This is J is an I. Just say that. Look at it. Spell it now. I-E-S-U-S. What did that spell? The E is silent. The E is silent because the I is a capital in front of it. Pronounce it. What do it say? Am I making this shit up or is this real? Is this live or is this Memorex? Okay, now. Know ye must become formless before you are one with the light. Now that's the ether. The only way you can become formless is you have to be consumed in the ether. Remember you seen the ether around my head in those videos? And then I showed you what it went. But I had to train my mind to be stronger than the emotions, or else I would have lost myself every time. And this was the prayer. And this was the answer. When you have control over your thoughts, you will have control over your life. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So it's a when you have control of your thoughts, you have control over your life. So now I got to go back to the lab. I got to make sure I've got all my motherfucking T's crossed, I's dotted, and my motherfucking periods in place. Now, Jillian is right here. This Jillian. Because she had to send me to Hanuman. And then once you awaken, you will have no interest in judging those who sleep. That's some true ass shit, because you look at them like, I feel sorry for you. And then I found the key. I opened the gate. Love is stronger than fear. Y'all gotta understand that. Love is stronger than fear. It's right here. It's showing it to you in a geometric form. Look. The heart is more powerful than the brain. The heart is about 100,000 times stronger electrically, and up to 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. What does that mean? That means your heart can overload your brain, and your emotions can drown you. So the love is stronger than the fear, because the fear is a mental projection. It's not real. No fear is real. It's all unrealistic. When I realized that, there I stood. Look where I'm standing. Now, this is the 6, but from this angle, you can only see the 5 points of the woman. I'm pointing this shit out. The same intelligence that grows the trees from the seed also beats your heart. If the same intelligence that grows trees from seeds beats your heart, then you would understand why love is stronger than fear. Now this is showing you the processes. This was the awakening. The womb of the woman is the most sacred place on earth. When you believe this, when you know this, you cannot allow any unqualified man inside. That's where you got to prove your qualifications. If I ain't prove I'm the most qualified motherfucker on earth, let's do a little bit. Vesica Pisces. Now remember, I showed y'all in the middle of the Vesica Pisces. When you look at it as the vagina, the middle is where you call the portal that enters in to the gates, which you call the pearly gates, which is your cervix behind the pearl tongue. So now the vagina is the third dimensional portal. What is a portal? It's a gate to Mother Earth. Now remember, I had to go through the Lion's Gate, right? And in order for all souls to have a physical experience here on this planet, they must come through her divine portal. You can't live in this life if you don't. Now this is how I knew I had to go find out the school of Ganesh. See, now this is your Donald Trump connection, and the Donald Trump connection. I'll get to that in a minute. But you see this Thoth, and this is Ganesh. Why are they on the same picture? You don't find Thoth in India, and you don't find Ganesh in Egypt. In Egypt, you find Ta'ert instead of Ganesh. And in India, you find the Buddha. But here you have Thoth, his Egyptian form, and Ganesh, her Hindu form. So that's telling me that somewhere the presence of God in reality relies upon me making it through the gateway. And they got all of the stuff that y'all can read that on your own. And this say, I carry your heart with me. This is a poem. And this is my favorite. This is my favorite because it's only loyalty is when you have my back, behind my back, 100. That's some fucking loyal ass shit. Golden rule ass shit. Ascension ass shit. Coronation. Matrimony. It's all here. And at the end of the day, be careful who you mistreat in your flesh. You have no insight of their rank in the spirit. And I left it with that for a reason, because this is what I've been dealing with. Of the clans of the land. But each clan had their own traditions, and then we had what you call agreed upon conditions across the land as a constitution, which is actually what they call the Confessions of Mott in the motherfucking hierarchy of the ranking in order to move up to the next level. So everybody got a right to be forgiven and forgive, but everybody also got a right to be a slave if they choose to be. You can't force nobody to be free, just like you ain't supposed to force nobody into slavery. I just said the Sarah and Jacera is not my lane. That's Rashida shit. She the one do all of the research on that and give me the updates. So whenever I know who got the most information on the topic, I have to refer y'all to them. Just like I had to tell Dane Calloway where the trust documents are. Once he has assert his greed right on the land to seize the trust document to settle the trust, then that'd be a wrap on the money tip. He agreed, certified agreed. Got the motherfucking catalog of works to prove it. So you don't have to agree with his personal life. That ain't got nothing to do with his job. His personal life don't got nothing to do with his job. His job is to announce what he knows to his brethren as best he can with the knowledge that he has for his position. That's it. Whatever he do personally, that don't have nothing to do with his job. As long as he did the job he was intended to do. He got to pay for his own personal transgressions on his own personal time, but his obligation to the people still got to be met. So that's for the ones that don't like him for whatever their personal reasons is. Your personal reasons is personal to you. He doing his job. No matter what you say, he doing his job. Everybody don't do their job how you think. Catalog of works to prove it. So you don't have to agree with his personal life. That ain't got nothing to do with his job. His personal life don't got nothing to do with his job. His job is to announce what he knows to his brethren as best he can with the knowledge that he has for his position. That's it. Whatever he do personally, that don't have nothing to do with his job. As long as he did the job he was intended to do. He got to pay for his own personal transgressions on his own personal time, but his obligation to the people still got to be met. So that's for the ones that don't like him for whatever their personal reasons is. Your personal reasons is personal to you. He doing his job. No matter what you say, he doing his job. Everybody don't do their job how you think. Everybody not supposed to do shit the same way, else you get the same result every time, and you won't have different angles of attack coming at this enemy from varying different angles. You can't uplift nobody like that. They'll put a cap on that shit. So everybody comes to different levels of understanding and knowledge, and they pass it on as best they can until the next person can take it to the next level. Until we get to the top. I'm at the top of the pyramid. I know the whole story. They fake, we ain't. They came, we was here. They told us we was on ships, but we was already here. Because our ancestors said they ain't seen those ships. It's already in the record. Written record from the era. They gonna tell y'all that y'all came on ships, but we don't see no ships with these motherfuckers. Because they came on horseback across Greenland and Iceland during the motherfucking wintertime. Telling y'all came on some ships. That shit don't work on us. We see through all the bullshit. Right? The motherfuckers that came on boats went south. South America, Central America, Florida. So when they got to Florida, every tribe sent somebody to the Seminole Nation to fight in the war. That's why that motherfucker lasts so long. Study the Seminole Wars. Every tribe sent a motherfucker. Every tribe. They all became Seminoles by default because when they sent the fight under the commander of the Seminole, he had initiated them as what they called the Seminole Rights. In Kenya, they call it the Mau Mau rights. To swear an oath to slaughter the enemy at every turn. Blood in, blood out, motherfucker. Bleed for the clan bleed for you. They take one of us, they gotta take us all, or they ain't getting nobody. Right? Every one of ours, they strike down. We supposed to strike down 10 of theirs, but we ain't striking back. We done came pusillanimous, complacent, content, comfortable, accepting of an adverse condition on our own shit. Get uncomfortable. I refuse to get comfortable till the shit is over. So I stayed in the cave. Gave up the amenities just to motherfucker get y'all the motherfucking message. I ain't had to do this shit. I did this shit because I was asked to do it by people I care about. And the best labor of love is to labor for the ones you love. That's it. The best labor of love is to labor for the ones you love. There was a problem that needed fixing. I had the motherfucking knowledge base in order to address the issue. So the ones I love said, hey, fix the problem. I said, fuck them niggas, don't want the problem fixed. And here I am 3 years later, still talking till I'm blue in the face, and niggas still won't do their part to fix the problem. They want to watch me do my part and talk about how deep that shit is. Oh, dog heavy. He be dropping that science, but won't spread that shit. They won't share the video. They'll watch that motherfucker 1,000 times by themselves, but they won't spread. They won't push that share button. If I seen a motherfucker when I was dead spitting this kind of shit, every time that motherfucker come, I go through my whole friends list talking about share. Then I'd post it on my page and in all my groups. But y'all don't have that type of motherfucking ambition for liberation. Y'all want everybody to hand y'all shit on the motherfucking platter. I already did that. The easiest way to motherfucking do it is to follow your shit. The de jure, the lawful people of the land assert their right to it and reject the motherfucking artificial corporation that masquerades as your government. That's it. It's that simple. That's the greatest voodoo of all. It's called the truth. Stand in the position of right, tell the truth, you become the unconquerable right hand of God at that point. Stand in the position of right and tell the truth, and you become the unconquerable right hand of God. That's how you do it. You don't got to care. They don't have to understand it. They don't got to like it. They don't got to agree with it. They can outright attack you. They can blatantly dispute it. But they're going to all find up confessing that he is telling the truth when they start being honest with themselves. When they start telling themselves the truth and get over the motherfucking white man lies. But you got to remember, the white man ain't even white. That nigga darker than me. And the people that he telling you white is just a cat's paw, a fall guy, a Colt Seavers, a crash dummy. They supposed to take the heat